It happens every day in 609 cities across the globe. Even as Uber drives toward worldwide domination, the tech giant could be in for its roughest ride yet. Kalanick's right-hand man and Uber's SVP of business has just left the company. Even Kalanick may take a leave of absence in the wake of his mother's death and a major internal investigation of the company, according to media reports that Uber declined to comment on. The ride-sharing giant has faced a string of PR nightmares. Tech blog Recode reported recently that CEO Travis Kalanick sent a memo to employees in 2013 telling his staff how they should behave on a company trip, including best practices for sex with coworkers. Uber declined to comment on the reported memo, but critics see it as an example of a so-called bro culture. It comes just days after the company terminated 20 workers following a sexual harassment probe, Uber vowing to improve management training.
No firm can afford to alienate half of their potential workforce, and certainly not at least half of their potential ridership.
Uber is the world's most valuable startup, worth almost $70 billion. But if it wants to go from private unicorn to Wall Street darling, well, there's work to be done. Even Travis Kalanick saying it was time to grow up when he apologized for this video obtained by Bloomberg back in March. It shows him arguing with a driver about falling fares.
Some people don't like to take responsibility for their They blame everything in their life on somebody else.
Months later, investors may be running out of patience.
The recent run by Kalanick, although he built a very impressive company, is the kind of run that gets you dismissed from a public company and might even get you dismissed from the sort of night manager position at a drive-through restaurant.
Not helping matters, Uber is hemorrhaging cash. It lost nearly $3 billion last year.
And when you start losing a lot of money, and when you start getting bruised, all that was once forgiven comes back to haunt you. And part of what happened here is the Teflon company became kind of like an old iron skillet that hadn't been seasoned, so where nothing stuck, now everything does.
Kalanick's issues could put pressure on Uber to bring in a more experienced Silicon Valley veteran to run day-to-day operations ahead of what's seen as an inevitable IPO.
If they can put together 2 quarters of near or approaching break-even, we might see them dash for the IPO because this company has a problem. Well, partly its own success, it's now so valuable that it would have to attract such a large amount of money and such a large buyer that its only real exit plan is probably an IPO.